for 1/5 of the gas causing global warming. Okay. 2000 to 2009 was the hottest decade on record, with 8 of the hottest 10 years having occurred since 2000. Raise your hand if you put true for number 2. Okay, that is also true. The last decade has been the hottest decade in the history of the Earth. Okay. Number 3, extreme weather doesn't just mean high temperatures. Global warming is causing more intense rainfall and droughts at the same time across the world. Raise your hand if you put true. Only 3 people put true? 4 people? That is also true. It's causing more intense.
All of them are true. That's a given point.
Yeah, so let's keep going. Sea levels are going to rise 2 feet in the next 100 years. Raise your hand if you put true for that. Now, is everyone's putting true now that they're noticing the pattern? Yep. So that's correct. Sea levels are going to rise 2 feet in the next 100 years if we don't change the way we're living. And number 9, 150,000 deaths are caused by global warming. Raise your hand if you put true.
Number 9. What? Where you got number 9?
Oh, I'm in number 5. Sorry. And that is also true. Yep. So there were no falses. All of that is true. So take a look.
Is that true discovered by scientists?
It's discovered by scientists, yeah. So take a look at your Earth right here. Here's the United States now. What do you think the United States is going to, raise your hand and tell me what you think the United States is going to look like if global warming keeps happening and ice keeps melting. Tristan.
It's like everything becomes swampland, and remember that big old river that like created the Badlands and stuff. I think that's going to be built up again.
All right, let's see.
So all our creeks are going to not be dried out and get that overflow.
So this is what could happen if global warming keeps happening and ice keeps melting.
Yeah, well, it was so dry for a little bit, so I just think the ground will just soak up all that moisture and it'll be good again. We'll start over.
Well, we would have to start over in some sense. But take a look at your cities that would be flooded. So what basketball teams would be missing if global warming happened 50 years from now? Miami Heat would no longer be a team. They'd be like the Miami Floods or something like that. What else? What would be missing over here? What's this right between Maryland? We talked about this yesterday. Tristan, you can probably answer this one. Washington, D.C. So no Washington Wizards. Where I'm from, what's my team?
Boston.
Boston would be underwater. And the 2 teams next to Boston that's usually the rivals, at least in baseball and football and kind of in basketball. What's this state right here?
Denver.
No, not Denver. New York. New York City would also be underwater if global warming happens. And that's what we're going to be learning about this week. So 1, why should we care about global warming? I think you could almost kind of answer that now. And 2, what can we do to stop it? So what I need you to do is to open up to page 503. So 503 in your textbook. Let's see how many times I need to say it. And 2. 293 in your interactive notebook. I see one. Nikki's open on 503. Kristen's open on 503. And 293 in your interactive notebook. Nice job. Okay. So we're going to be doing the first lesson in about a 5-day unit on global warming. And we saved this one for last because we studied all these different places throughout the year. And if global warming is happening, which most people think it is, then all these places are going to be changed. And that's why the textbook saves it toward the end. So we're going to be talking about a continent without people. No one lives on Antarctica. But if it melts, it's going to affect all the people in the entire world. So every little place that you thought may have been interesting will change if global warming keeps happening and we don't stop it. But by the end of class today, you're going to have to identify all 4 vocab words for climate change. So we're going to do vocab like we've been doing. And then you're going to describe which of the 3 ideas about global warming are most important to you. So yesterday we talked about, I tell you what the exit ticket is at the beginning of class. If you can remember these 2 things for the entire class, you're going to get it right. I pointed out yesterday how I asked people to repeat the questions to me. The people that are thinking about it the entire time usually always get it right. So I'm going to ask you, what's the first thing I'm going to test you at the end of class? 1, 2. Well, I just, what's on the board? Right here. Okay, all the vocab words for climate change, you're going to be able to identify them. So I'm going to read these 4 words, the definitions of these 4 words at the end of class, and ask you what they mean. Amber, can you read me the second thing we're testing you on? Correct. So which of the ideas about global warming are most important to you? So let's start with the vocab words. I'll start reading and then I'll pick some random people to read with me. So we're at the top of 503. So focus on your blue words. Antarctica, researching climate change at the coldest place on Earth. Antarctica is the coldest continent on Earth. The average temperature at the South Pole is -74 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty crazy. At this temperature, spilled coffee can turn to ice before it hits the ground. So can you imagine that, holding a cup of coffee? If you spill a cup of coffee, it's going to turn to ice before it even hits the ground. So to eat,
ice while it's in the cup.
yeah, that's probably true too. I guess it depends how good your cup is insulated. But Egan asked in the last class, if you pee in Antarctica, would it turn to ice? And based on that, it would, before it even hits the ground. Again, no one lives on this cold continent. Each summer, though, Antarctica warms up a bit. During these few warmer months, researchers from around the world travel to work. Okay, so if Juanito wanted to go to Antarctica this summer, this winter, can he stay with anyone? Why not, Randy Lee? Because he just doesn't know people there? Because nobody lives there. Nobody lives in Antarctica. It's too cold. You can't live in -70-degree weather. Researchers come to Antarctica. We're on the second paragraph. Yeah. Researchers come to Antarctica to study many things. One of the most important, however, is global warming. This is a slow increase in the temperature of Earth's surface. Climate records for the past 25 years show a worldwide surface temperature rise of about 0.4 Fahrenheit. However, this warming is not uniform. Some places are warmer, some are cooler. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Reread that paragraph, and I want you to point to the sentence that you think defines global warming. I'll give you a hint. It usually comes before or after the blue word. I'm going to come around real quick and see what you're pointing to.
What?
Point to the definition. Which sentence you think gives the definition to global warming? So I'll give you 1 minute to find that. So 1 minute to find the definition of global warming in that paragraph. Point to the sentence. When you point, I'll come back and look. Good. So usually you can tell, the definition usually always becomes before or after. And if you look at your reading, it says, however, one of the most important, however, is global warming. That's not telling us what global warming is. But if you look at the sentence right after, it says, this is. What's this? This is.
Global warming.
Global warming is a slow increase in the temperature of the Earth's surface. Good. Okay, I'm going to pick someone random to read. Someone that looks ready. Marky, could you read the third paragraph, please? And while you're reading it, I want you to look for the definition of greenhouse effect.
Many scientists believe that this one relates to a process called the greenhouse effect. This occurs when gases in the
Could you stop right there? What's this again? Chris. Oh, sorry. What is this in that sentence that followed? Amber kind of said it. What occurs when gases? The definition of what? Greenhouse effect. So when you see this after a vocab word, it's talking about the vocab word. Greenhouse effect occurs when, can you deep read this?
This occurs when gases in the atmosphere so that the trapped heat and scientists believe in exposure farmers studies of ice
Good. Okay, and I'll read that last bit. In this chapter, you will look at ideas about global warming and how it may be affecting Antarctica. You will also look at possible effects of global warming on the rest of the world. So we are on 504 now. So real quick, we're going to be talking about this later in the chapter, but it's worth reviewing right now. So the greenhouse effect, if there's there's basically an invisible atmosphere over the Earth. So if you look at my map up here, I should see all eyes up here. There's an atmosphere right here, and when you pollute, there creates this gas that goes under this atmosphere. This is called the greenhouse effect, okay? So let's say it's over the U.S. It creates this gas.
So wait, on the outside of the atmosphere, is that all?